Hey everybody, happy Friday. It's your girl, Dr. Shanita Williams with another Feedback Friday. That's right. It's our time of the week where we get to pause, say whoopsa, and, see what we can learn from feedback. Tonight, I want to really talk about positive feedback because we spend a lot of time thinking about constructive feedback and how we can get better. But how many of you actually struggle with receiving positive feedback? If you said yes, you're not alone. A lot of us, myself included, I'll be honest, it's not easy to fully take in the great things that sometimes people say. And even that's uncomfortable to say, like great things people say. But the reality is you do a lot of great things in the world. And people are going to notice and they're going to give you positive feedback. But I want to challenge you to think about, how do you respond to their feedback? So there are 4 S's I'm going to go over with you on how I observe people responding to feedback. I think the first thing that I've noticed is some people, when they receive feedback, they actually spotlight, the first S is they spotlight the feedback on somebody else. Has that ever happened to you, right? Someone gives you a compliment and they say, wow, you did such a great job yesterday. And then you turn it back on them and say, no, you did a really great job yesterday. And then you go on and on about how great they are. Changing the spotlight from yourself to you, to them. And, that's actually really common because most people, they don't want to feel that center stage. Some people just feel uncomfortable with people paying attention to them and having all eyes on them. So are you a spotlighter? Are you the person? I see Michelle said, that's me all the time. Right? Like, are you the person who, as soon as you get feedback, a compliment, you just pay it back to someone else? But there's another type that I also noticed. So I noticed there are spotlighters, but there are also shrinkers. So this is when an individual receives a compliment, like, you did a really great job yesterday. And your response is, I didn't really do a great job. Did you hear when I said so-and-so? I messed up. I can't believe I even said that. Is that any of you? Are you a shrinker to the point where, people are trying to give you feedback that makes you, feel big, but you say, hey, I don't want to get a big head, so I'm going to shrink myself and make myself actually look smaller. I have seen that happen a lot, where we actually go into some self-deprecating statements just to make sure we appear humble, making sure we shrink ourselves. Now, humility is a great quality. We know that studies have shown that being humble is connected to effective leadership and, effective relationships. But you want to make sure that you're not shrinking yourself in the goal to be exhibit humility. You don't have to beat yourself up to be humble. So think about that. Do you shrink yourself? Do you spotlight? Or do you do this? This is what I call the spin. It's when you receive positive feedback from someone. So let's keep with the same scenario. Someone says, good job yesterday. I really loved how you, and then you go into for yourself, that can't be true. Why are they saying that? They must be lying. They're blowing up smoke. They're just saying that to be nice. They don't really think I did a good job. These people are lying to me. I can't trust what they're saying. Has that ever happened to you? Right? Where you start to spin, and this happens when the image of yourself is actually different than the image that someone is presenting to you. It's that cognitive dissonance between what I believe about myself and what I hear you saying about me. That cognitive dissonance, that difference, that gap gives you space to spin because you're saying, hey, I don't see myself that way, so they must not be telling the truth. They just must be being nice. Sometimes this happens in relationships, oh, you're my mom. I say my mom's on the line. Oh, mom, you're just saying that because you're my mom. You're not saying it because I'm really good at X. Or you're just saying that because you're my BFF and you're going to ride with me till the wheels fall off. So of course you're going to say I'm great at X. Or you're my spouse, you're my partner. So you have to say those things. So when you start finding yourself in that space where you start discounting what people are saying because, how you see yourself and how they're explaining what they see to you is a gap. That's what I call the spin. So, what if I don't do things to continue to get that feedback? I saw a comment in here. What if I don't do things to continue to get the feedback? I'd rather shrink, right? A lot of times people feel like I can't meet your expectation. So they don't want to be put on a pedestal, right? Sometimes getting positive feedback when someone says you're good at something, it makes you feel like, oh my gosh, can I do it again? I hope I have to do it again. So instead of trying to meet a high expectation, we do that. We shrink ourselves down. And I want you to be mindful of that with the feedback experience. All right. So the fourth and final thing a way that people respond to feedback can be a really positive way. And it's what I call, you just sit in it. Sit in the feedback. It's where you allow the positive comments to just wash all over you. When they say, you really did a great job yesterday. Or if they say, I really love your outfit. You don't sit there and quickly shrink yourself, right? And say, oh no, I'm not really good at that. Or, oh no, this outfit isn't really cute anyway. You also don't spotlight and say, oh, I'm not cute, you're cute. Or I'm not good, you're good, right? When you are able to sit in the positive feedback, you are allowing yourself to truly acknowledge the words that are being said to you. You're allowed and giving yourself permission to truly just allow the serotonin, the hormone that's connected with joy and happiness, allow that to just take over you and just sit in it, in that gratitude, that space of gratitude, and just appreciate it. Now, when you're able to really just sit in it and allow yourself to not only hear it, but to feel that feedback, that positive feedback, I think it's okay to simply just say, thank you. Thank you. But most of us feel uncomfortable. We feel like we have to quickly do something else, but it's okay to pause and just say, thank you. Now, if you want to go a little deeper, you can say, thank you. I really appreciate you saying that. Right? You can add that as well. No need to, engage in self-deprecation or deflect. We can just sit in it and say, thank you. I really appreciate that. You might also add a little bit more and affirm yourself and say, thank you. I really appreciate that. I've been working a few weeks on it. And so I really want it to be good. So I really appreciate you playing that back for me. Right? So it's okay to also say, I worked really hard. It's okay to say that and appreciate yourself. And the last thing you might do, because sometimes we get feedback and we got to acknowledge we didn't get that we didn't get to where we are, or that performance or whatever somebody is seeing sometimes is a result of support and help from other people. So it's okay to say, oh, thank you so much. So-and-so really helped me with that. They were incredible. They were instrumental in helping us get to this point, right? So for me as a leader, when someone is talking about a product that my team completed, I say, you know what? All credit goes to the team, right? And it's okay to be able to make sure you celebrate with those who are also a part of that experience. So I hope these tips were really helpful for you to think about engaging in positive feedback. Remember, there are 4 ways people typically respond in my experience. They either shrink themselves because they want to look humble. They either turn the spotlight on somebody else because they don't want to be the center of attention. Or they spin because they just can't believe what you're saying because they don't see themselves the way you just saw them. Or they sit in it and allow it to just wash all over them. So I hope you get to sit in your positive feedback a little bit more. Join me next week on the next Feedback Friday as we talk about another interesting topic that can help us all get better at the feedback experience. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Take care.